time. This time, I think the false start isn't there. It's a great honor to have heard you in person, and I think, like most of the audience, I'm feeling a bit speechless as well. But I did think, while hearing your absolutely excellent exhortation, which was always serious without ever becoming sanctimonious, that text has to be at some point matched with context. And the context of today is the news that we have just read about with great sadness, with also a sort of a degree of deep anxiety, worry. Because if we are discussing civilizations, then the greatest challenge to civilization, as we have constructed it over thousands of years, which has faced challenges before, the challenge to civilization comes from violence, and violence in its most barbaric form, which is the violence of terrorism. And what really would you have? Is there a solution in your mind to terrorism? Is philosophy an answer? What does a state do? And I think perhaps even more important, what does a citizen do? The victim is the citizen, even more than the state.
These terrible events have been happening repeatedly. Every time it happens, everybody sits up, says a few nice things, and of course we get busy with what we're doing, till again, somewhere else, it bleeds again. But at the same time, we need to understand that this is not happening just today. This has been happening for a couple of thousand years. And there may be many sub-reasons, but the fundamental thing is people believe this or that, and they're continuously in conflict. The nature of human intelligence is such, if you or me do something stupid today, we're capable, I am at least. Let me not include you in that. If we do something stupid today, tonight our intelligence will bother us. Why did I do this? This is the nature of human intelligence. It doesn't need any cultural training or religious training or any other training. It is the very nature of human intelligence that if you do something stupid, it will bother you. But when your stupidity is scripture endorsed or God endorsed, then you can go on doing the same things with great pride. This is something that has to change. We can… Now, French government says, we're going to handle this pitilessly, it's their words. I know what pitiless means. We have seen enough of pitilessness in our own lifetime happening around us. We don't want to see more pitilessness. We need to somewhere address this in a more fundamental way. The man that you call as terrorist, as horrible as the act is, there's no question about that, we're not debating that. But one thing we need to understand is, this man whom we call as terrorist is willing to throw up his own life. It is the nature of life itself that we value life. It's not a thought instruction. Even if you try to catch an ant, it will try to do everything to protect its life. This is the nature of life, it's inbuilt into us, that this life is precious to us. So, this is the nature of life, that it values itself, it would like to preserve itself. Why is it that a young man would want to go and blow himself up? So something, somewhere, has become more valuable than their own lives. We need to examine this in a more profound way then handling is pitilessly. Pitiless handling, for immediately if somebody is walking on the street with a gun, yes, you have to handle it pitilessly for that moment. But pitiless handling of an entire situation is not going to produce any results. It will only grow this further and further. You will produce more young men who will want to throw their life in the street. And we must understand this. If somebody wants to commit a crime, go back home and live well. There are preventions for that guy. That guy who wants to die on the street, there is no way to prevent him. Till now, they've been a bit stupid, if you ask me. If they get really smart, there is no way you're going to stop them.
There's no way we can?
Not with your security, not with your screenings, not with your metal detectors, no.
Which has just increased the fright level of…
No, what I'm saying is, a man who wants to die, you can't stop him with all these measures.
Right, you can't frighten a suicide with the idea of death.
Yeah.
We get that, but that exactly makes this, for the first time in history, almost an existential problem, because for the first time, the tools that you spoke about so eloquently, the tools which you recognized as the major factor in creating progress, include something called a nuclear weapon. And we know that nuclear contamination and that weapon is within potential reach of at least some of these forces.
Very close.
I don't see more than that. But what precisely would you have to say if you were President Hollande today? What would you do?
See, when things like this were happening in Sudan, I was in an international conclave where there were Hollywood stars who were claiming they're going to go to Sudan and campaign for peace and stuff. So they were showing videos of what's happening in Sudan, which among many things, many ugly things that are happening, these so-called militants or terrorists or whatever you want to call them, they're just shooting at the sky endlessly. So I said, there is no need for Hollywood stars to go and have photo ops in Sudan. I think it's obscene. We know who makes these weapons. Everybody knows. If you don't know, I'll give you the addresses. Well, weapons are already in their hands, you can't do anything. But the ammunition, see, there is no scarcity. The guys are shooting into the sky, not at the people. They're not shooting at their so-called enemies, they're shooting the sky. That means there is an enormous amount of stocks. Somebody is supplying it. Who makes the ammunition for this caliber? Don't you know? If you don't know, I will tell you. All you have to do is close down these industries. Will you? No, that's our economy. Then what? I'm saying this is all empty talk. First thing is to take the tools of death away. Still they may kill, with knives and machetes they may kill, but it will not be the same scale at least. Now you've given them deadly tools. So, is it not very easy? The easiest thing to do is stop the ammunition, right? At least they will be scarce, they have to aim and shoot. Now, they're shooting the sky.